Okay, sorry about the interruption there. Anyway, so once you get this way, then you can pull your project over in front of you and see it should sit right down on there. It should, it shouldn't have a lot of play in it or anything else. It might look a little loose in a little bit, but by the time we cover the ends with the strips, it'll be nice and snug on top of there. So then the next part is going to be to cut our piece that goes over the top. Now your chipboard will bend easy one way, and the other way it won't bend. It doesn't want to bend at all. So since your trunk has your arches that go across this way, this is the way it needs to bend. Okay, so you measure across. I get one of these tape measures because sometimes you just never know. And I start with the number 1 right here. And I measure straight across this way, all the way down to the other side. And this says 8 3/4. Okay, so we started at 1, so it's actually 7 3/4. So then you're going to take this way, the way it bends. This needs to be your 7 3/4. So we'll even write, you want this to be 7 3/4 this way. Okay, so I put 7 3/4, so I know I need to go this way. And then this is the length of this. So this way is going to be 11 1/4, this direction. So then you can put it in your trimmer, and you can cut this. So I need 7 3/4 this way. And then the other way, I need to go 11 1/4. 11 1/4 this way. Okay. So now, then you take this and just kind of train it to start to bend. I put my fingers under here and kind of bend it out there, so that trying to just get it kind of started. Work the fibers in it a little bit to get it to bend down. So I'll just sit and kind of play with it a little bit. Don't force it and crink it. Get a crinkle in it. Don't do that. Just kind of work it. Work it with your hands. You could hold it. You could probably do this if you had some big rubber bands and put a couple rubber bands on it and let it sit for a while. And that would do it as well. But it already does bend that way, so you're pretty good to go. I just kind of make it go. I just like to work it a little bit. Okay, so then we take this guy, and it's going to want to give like this. So before we go this way, we're going to go ahead and take, you're going to cut a total of 8 of the little 2-inch ones. And I am going to go ahead with a little bit, my glossy accents right here. Kind of do this all at the same time. I'm going to put glossy accents in there that way. And then I'm going to put this piece on here. Should have peeled off both sides before I did this. Okay, and then I'm going to put this on here this way. And that glossy, and we'll kind of let this sit for a few minutes to dry once we get it all done. So peel off both sides of this before I put the glossy accents on it. Okay, so there's that. Put my glossy accents in here. There we go. And put this guy over the top. Okay. And then it's going to go ahead and stand up for you once you get the two of them done on one side. Okay. Go ahead and do this again. I usually will end up using about a bottle of glossy accents on a project. But you know what? I just like how sturdy things become with it. Okay, and then we're going to go one more. There we go. Okay, so we're going to let that sit for a few minutes. I'm going to take this, and I've already cut my strips to go along this. You want them from end to end. Again, I don't angle these, I just leave them straight. I go ahead and put one on each side, the inside and the outside. Okay. One there. And we're going to put one on here. Do the same thing on the other side. And I didn't tell you, hang on to your template when you do this, because when you go to paper your trunk and you're going to paper the ends, you can use this as a template. You can trim it a little bit inside and you can make it fit the way you like it on your top. And it's perfect for a template to cut your pattern paper with. So don't throw away your template. It's an awesome thing to have. Okay, so there's that. And one more. Almost running out of strips. I hope I have enough to finish. Okay. Okay, so there's that. So let's get the mess out of the way here. Okay, so we have on each side, on the long edge. Okay, so I'm going to put this over here, and because this is the way it's bending, this is the way I've trained it, started to train it, I'm going to actually put this down. I actually want this piece to go right on top of this piece. And then you're going to take and peel and stick. I'm going to peel both these sides off here. And then I'm going to take this piece of chipboard and I'm going to butt it right up against this edge right here. So it's going to go just like this. And then pull these pieces down. I do it both underneath and on top. Okay, so there. So we have it, it's just butted straight up against there, just like we butted everything else up against there. Right up against there. Okay. Then we're going to bend this over and we're going to butt the other side up against here. Pull this off. So this is going to butt right up against this side. And because your top is the same length as your side pieces, it should fit right inside there. Okay, so there and I'll stick, see the inside still is not stuck down, just stuck down the outside. Then I'll come around here and I will go ahead and stick this part down And then I'll take my bone folder and burnish it really good so it sticks really, really well. So there's your top. And then see your top it will just come on your trunk like that. Can't really see it very well. Here, let me go this way. Let's do this. There. So see, there's your top right here. Okay. So, but we're not done with it. Okay, so that's just a fitting thing. A lot of times with this stuff, in your drawers especially, when you're creating, because we all kind of cut differently on our cutters and look at different spots on our marks, you want to be sure and do a lot of testing with your drawers. Nothing worse than to get done with something and have it not fit because it ended up being just a tad bit. And see, I got one here that's really tight. So I'm hoping that it'll just in time, I need to get that glue off of there. I pulled on that pull, not thinking about it. I'm hoping in time that it'll loosen. It gets easier. But I don't know. We'll see. I could end up taking that drawer apart and remaking it. I don't know. The bottom one is nice and easy. The rest of them all slide. It's just that one I'm concerned about. Okay. So now we've got it like this. See, our pieces come right up. Yeah, there we are. See, this comes right up against that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece. Did I cut pieces? No. But this piece will work. How long is this? This might be all we need. Yep, that's all we need, because this piece was 7 3/4. So really, you should only need a 7 3/4 inch piece of strip. So let's just go to 7 3/4 and cut that little bit off. And we'll cut another one of 7 3/4. So we got one for each side. Matter of fact, before we do that, let's go ahead and see this actually. Okay, this is going to fit. Okay, so we can do the same thing. This is 7 3/4, and you want it to go from this edge, the center of this, in through here, to the center of this side over here. So you're going to want 4 pieces that are 7 3/4. So let's get this. Okay. So I have 4 pieces now, 7 3/4. So this is what we're going to do. We take one of them, fold it here. I don't cut these at an angle either. I'm going to peel off one side. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it right up against that edge. The edge on the chipboard. And I'm looking at it inside here to make sure that it wraps, that I've got the center there, because it's going to have to fold over. So there's that. And then I fold this. This can go right up against it. And see, that's nice and curved for it. Okay, so then I take and I go ahead and peel off this. Oops. Come on. So I'm going to peel that off. And then I'm going to come back. Keep this out of the way. And keep that out of the way. I'm going to come back with my scissors and I'm just going to snip this maybe like every inch or so. So there. So I've snipped that. So you can see the cuts there. I've snipped it about every inch or so. So then I'm going to push down on this piece because it needs to go right up against the top. So I'm going to push down and then I'm going to stick these. And I usually start on the edge. And by cutting them, you will find they're going to overlap each other, but that's okay. That's why you cut them, because it's not going to bend on its own. And I usually go through one at a time, kind of work them from both directions. There. So then you end up with it looking like that. And again, then I just take my bone folder, fold it down, make sure it's burnished really good. Okay, now, if you have, see, you can see this little corner piece right here. See how that's not really, get in this camera. See how that's kind of sticking out there and shows a little bit? This is how you fix those. You can take a scrap. This scrap isn't very long. It's not even 2 inches long. So what you can do is you take this scrap and you come on the outside. Let me just peel off. I'm going to peel off both sides. Okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it right over the piece that comes across there, like this. And I'm going to let half of it stick out past there. Then I'm going to take my scissors right in the center there. I'm going to cut that in. And then I'm going to put this one over here. And then this one is going to follow over there. And then you end up with no holes that you see. And when you put your paper on, your pattern paper on, you know, you're not really going to see that. So that's how you cover those up. And you can do that on all four if you choose to, if that's what makes you, if you're not happy with the way it looks, you can just go ahead and do it again here. This actually also puts another little bit of stability, helps it with holding shape. Okay, so I did that again. So now I'm going to cut this in this way. And then I'm going to stand it up and I'm going to push that one that way and that one that way. And again, there you have your corner. It's all covered up. There are no ugly spots there. Okay? So now we're going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to take one of these. I'm going to go ahead and fold it. I'm going to pull off half of the tape. And I'm going to stick it on here. And I'm going to just kind of push it around. And you do have to get it to where you can see it, because you want to make sure that you roll it so that the center of the strip is at the top, right where it needs to fold. Okay? Ended up with a little bit of a wrinkle there. That's okay. Okay, so there. And then again, make sure these are down. And then I always pull this tape off, otherwise you're trying to pull off little tiny pieces of tape. So I always pull that off. Then I come back here and I snip these. It's probably, I'm going to say every 3/4 to an inch that I snip it. Okay, and I stand it on its end and I just work those around. There you go. Put my hand underneath there and then, okay, and then again on those little corners, we're going to go ahead and do those as well to cover up those little holes. And I just use scraps. I mean, I couldn't tell you what these are. They just need to be long enough that they stick out some so that you can fold it over. Cut down the center of it like that. And then I'm going to push that side down. And then I'm going to push that side down. And again, it covers that up really nice. So let's do one over here too. Well, I don't know that I have a scrippy scrap small enough, so I guess I'll just cut one out of the piece. Okay, I'll just take one of these guys. We'll just cut it. We don't care. It's kind of a short one. Okay, so I cut it. Here's my little short piece. And it is short. So again, I'm going to put it here, and go out there with it. Cut that inside there. And then fold this one over this way, and that one over that way. So there, all my pieces are covered. All those are covered. Okay, now in here, we kind of do the same thing except a little bit backwards because it's on the inside. So we're going to take these, I fold it in half this way, and then I'm going to peel off just one side, and I'm going to set it down in there where it goes. And I see, I always do a test fit first, and I see a little bit needs to come off of there, maybe 1/8 of an inch or so. So I'm going to peel the tape off and just set it, and then stick it in like that on both sides. We're going to do both sides the same way. So peel off the tape. So the folded edge goes up against the arch. So I'm going to put this in here, and I'm just going to fold it down, push it up against the arch. You want to make sure it's nice and tight up there because that's going to help you. And then you can get your finger underneath it a little bit. Smooth that down in there, make sure it's good and stuck. And then I pull this back down, and then I pull this off. Oops, get in there. And then again, we're going to snip this, just like we did the outside, so that we can stick it to the arch and have it stay. I have a tendency in here to make closer snips than I do on the outside. Then I'm going to stand it up this way, and I'm going to push these down. Just make sure that they lay down flat. You can see that. There. Then once I get them all down, again, run the bone folder along there. There. And then you're all set. So now you have a nice sturdy end for your arch. And then you're going to repeat the same process on the other side. So I'm going to take this and peel off one side and put the fold up against the arch. Stick it down up against the arch. Just make sure your fold is, oops, this one's too long. You can see I'm going to need to cut it right there. Okay, there we go. And then I just try to get my finger underneath there. You can do it out here as well. I just like it to get underneath here if I can. Okay, and pull that back down. Pull off the paper. Cut it. Like I said, on the inside I tend to make smaller cuts than I do on the outside. And I'm going to say simply because the paper doesn't want to move as freely, so it's harder to get your scissors underneath there. Okay, so there's our, so I'm going to stand this up this way and you can see. So then I'm just going to push these down. And then it just folds right along your arch, right where you need it to be. Go ahead and burnish this down really good. I'm going to go ahead and turn this back over and go this way with this. There. Okay, so there's our top. Now the only thing left to do to the top is going to be to cover the ends. Maybe I have enough of this, maybe I don't. The last 3 pieces I have without cutting more. Okay, so I'm going to take and do this. Set that crooked. So we need 2 of these. Okay. And these are going to cover in here. A little bit long, just a tad bit long. Okay. And I am not going to trim these either. I'm going to let these go right to the very edge. Okay. So there it is. I'm going to fold this over here, and I'm going to go ahead and give it that initial crease where it needs to go. I'm going to peel that piece off, and I'm just going to put this in there. Okay, smash this down here, and again, I'm going to run my bone folder across the edge with the flat edge. There's that. And we're going to go here, just a tad that needs to come off as well. Okay, again, I am not going to cut angles on these. I'm going to leave them straight. Okay. That part put on there. Again, fold it over, do the initial fold on it to get it down. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to burnish that down. Edges here again. Now we're left here. Let's see if this is going to be long enough to do both of them. Maybe, maybe not. Let's see. Nope. So I will have to make me another piece. But I'll do it off camera and put it on. I'm not going to do it. This is too short. This one fits. There we go. Okay. So I won't do it on camera though. No sense in hanging everybody out here that long. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the video. And you see what, oh, I should show you too. Let me get this piece on here. This one goes on that way. And I'm out of camera range. Okay. I apologize. I haven't done lots of videos. But I thought this one I would do as I was making this one, just in case. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so now when you go to put your hinges on, okay, your hinges are going to go through here, through this piece, and I have not glued these back pieces in here because these come out, this tray comes out, the tray comes out, this piece comes out, we've got to get the bottom piece out first, that piece comes out, and then this piece comes out. I can't even get it out. All right, fine. Let's just take all these out. Take out your tray pieces. And you want this piece to come out of there. This piece to come off the back. You're going to poke your holes through here with your hinges for your brads. Flatten your brads out inside here. Then you will be gluing these in place. That will help your brads give you stability for your hinges. So that's how that works. You don't glue these pieces in until after you have your hinges on your top, like them so. And it's just barely going to sit up there because it's not, the pieces aren't there. Then you will put your hinges on the top. So anyway, that is where that stands. Okay? So there we go. Now we have a trunk. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have success with the videos. If not, leave me messages.